we will now start with the mock session. But yes, before that, your take-home message. This is in very brief of what you should be doing in an A2E approach. And if anyone would like to have a further idea of the assessment and treatments we generally do, this is just a very generalized idea of the entire situation. Do we have a first participant here, please? Okay, hello, doctor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, doctor?
I'm good, thank you. So we'll start with station. It's like any other station, you know the general drill. I will give you 1 minute to prepare, and 1 minute to read the station and prepare it in your mind, and 8 minutes for the station. This one would be a bit difficult to simulate. So what you will see on your screen will essentially be the monitor, and I will be changing the values in real time based on what interventions you tell me when it comes to the patient. All right. So please make sure you keep looking at your screen at all times. Is that all right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Dr. Farsana, we'll start now. It's after 6 minutes, talk to the examiner. I'm so sorry for that. Sorry.
Begin.
Please
Are you
begin.
Anna Watson?
Yes, doctor. I'm not feeling well.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you comfortable, Anna?
Yes, doctor, but I'm feeling very faint. I don't know. I feel like I'm blacking out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Anna, I'm here to help you, okay? You will,
Alright.
you will feel fine soon. So I can see, I will quickly look at the monitor. I will come back to you soon, okay?
All right, doctor.
Okay, so I can understand that you are admitted in the hospital because of some condition and you were feeling faint as well now. May I know since how long you have been feeling faint?
Just now, doctor, 10 minutes ago, they were bringing me back from the imaging department, and suddenly I felt like there's some blackening sensation around my eyes.
May I know, have you taken anything? Have you eaten anything since morning?
No, doctor, I missed my breakfast. They said they'll quickly do the X-ray and bring me back, but I missed my breakfast.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm also can understand from your notes that you are diabetes as well.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. And may I know you on insulin?
Yes, doctor. They have been giving me insulin here in the hospital.
Have
They
you
gave me my dose in the morning.
in the morning? You have taken that. All right. Yeah. So I would like to check your blood sugar if that's all right.
Your patient is now unconscious.
I would like to. Okay. So as my patient is unconscious, I would like to quickly assess the airway. If there is any obstruction or not.
No obstruction.
Okay, and I will quickly assess and do the examination. I will be for that. I will need proper exposure, and I'll be palpating, inspecting the chest, palpating trachea, doing palpation, chest expansion, percussion, and comparing it both sides. And auscultation. I'm auscultating now, and I'm also listening to the heart sounds, lung sounds, and heart sound.
Okay.
As my patient's oxygen saturation has been dropping now, I would like to give my patient oxygen. And also, if there is any patient note, so that I can check if there is any smoker's cough or not.
No smoker's cough.
Okay, then I will be giving high flow oxygen via non-breathable mask. And I would like to lift her head, and I'll be attaching the mask with oxygen.
Okay.
Anna, can you hear me?
She's still unconscious.
I would like to check my patient's blood sugar, please.
Her blood sugars are 3 millimoles per liter.
All right. As my patient's blood sugar is very low, I would like to give her 10% dextrose.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, and also I would like to pass through whiteboard IV lines, and I would like to give my patient take the bloods of my patient to send for the lab to send in the labs, and I will be doing capillary refill and check the pulse of my patient.
What bloods are you sending?
Food blood count, liver functions, kidney functions.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you like to manage your patient further? She's still not conscious.
Okay, I would like to repeat the 10% dextrose again.
Okay.
I would like to give fluids.
Okay. What fluids are you giving to your patient?
Yeah, I would like to give a normal saline 500 ml bolus.
Okay. What would you like to do further for your patient?
Yeah, I would like to send. If my patient is still not conscious,
She's regaining consciousness slowly.
okay.
Now, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so if my patient is conscious, I would like to complete the history parts.
Okay, all right. She's conscious now.
Anna, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling okay?
Yes, doctor, I'm feeling a bit better.
I'm glad to hear that. Could you please tell me what exactly happened this morning?
I was given my insulin, doctor, and then they took me for my X-ray. They said I'll be discharged soon, and I couldn't make it back in time. I mean, there was some problem there. We got delayed, and then I started feeling very sweaty, and I felt quite faint actually.
Okay, Anna, and I understand that you have diabetes. May I know since how long have you been had these diabetes?
For 12 years now, doctor.
Mm-hmm. And are you, apart from insulin, are you taking any other medication?
No, doctor, nothing else.
Okay, any medical condition apart from diabetes and this medical condition that you are having right now?
No, doctor, nothing else.
Okay.
Doctor, your examiner. So, what is your diagnosis?
From my assessment, patient have a hypoglycemic episode.
Okay. And how did you manage the hypoglycemia?
Yeah, I have given 10% dextrose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have given some fluids as well, and then patient become feeling better.
Okay. How would you manage your patient better? Further.
So I will keep the patient in intensive care unit, and I will be doing her observation time to time. I will inform my seniors so they can come and assess her again, and we might need to take an opinion from the specialist as well. And we would like to review the medication of the patient, as this patient has these hypoglycemic events. I need to see the medication, whichever medication she has been taking here.
Okay, all right.
As the patient is awake now, so we can offer her some. Keeping in mind the dietary allergies, we will be offering her some carbohydrate meal.
All right. Would you be continuing her future doses of insulin?
Yeah, so I will check my patient's blood glucose level regularly up till 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
assessing her observations over the 24 hours. If there is deterioration or not, so we'll be keeping that in mind. And also, if this patient has this hypoglycemic events, we will educate the patient for the future if this happens, what should be done.
How will you educate your patient further?
So we will tell the patient about the signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia, and also educate her.
Move on to the next station.
So that keep something in her, and don't keep any meals. Sorry, it was so bad.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Faizan. Hypoglycemia is an emergency, a life-threatening emergency. It can be quite problematic. So I have actually written here that she seems unconscious now. So probably talking to me would not have really helped you. But because in the very first instance you started off with blood sugar, so I started talking so that I can try and push you towards the thing. But again, this is hypoglycemia, which is a life-threatening situation. Ideally, what I would have done in this scenario is when I walked in, the saturations were quite low. If you remember, they were 92. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. Her respiratory is also on the higher side. Her heart rate is also slightly higher. So as I said, it would be better if you verbalize. If remember the entire structure I spoke of, A, B, C, D, E approach. If you could have followed the structure, it would have probably been more easier for you to actually manage the patient. So if I was the candidate here, I would have first noticed that her saturations are quite low. So I would have immediately performed an intervention here. Either I'll do a head lift, chin tilt, or I would have probably given her oxygen at this very instance to raise her saturations. Am I correct? You, I think, did not do that initially.
Yeah.
So that would have been an easier way to manage. Once you would have done that, you could have quickly assessed her breathing, and maybe her breathing would be improving because you have already given her oxygen. So her respiratory rate would have changed. Then I would have probably moved on to circulation. I would have started her off on fluids after verbalizing that I would place two large bore IV cannulas, and then I would go on to disability, and that is where I would be checking for blood glucose. Am I right?
Yes.
So your approach would have been in a much more structured manner. So you would not have, I think you forgot in between and then you came back to oxygen. So what I would recommend is to try and follow this in this manner. So you will finish it properly within 6 minutes, and then you could maybe speak to your examiner about, have your discussion further at the 6-minute bell.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So I know this one's going to be quite difficult to try and simulate online, and I understand this is quite a new way we are trying here. But this is what I was trying to make a point of. The second you see that there's something wrong or off in the vitals, please initiate the ABCDE approach. If you notice that the vitals are fine, that is when you can actually speak to your patient and take history. I wouldn't recommend in a patient with hypoglycemia and she's unconscious. I did start speaking because I realized you probably may have missed out on that point. But if the patient keeps talking and you are not going by the approach, you are missing out on, precious time. And the patient did fall unconscious, which should not have happened if she were she was conscious at that time, right? Do you have any doubts, Dr. Farzana?
Yeah. So before starting the session, I also have this thing in my mind, like the patient might not respond me, but purpose of asking the name, I was thinking maybe I can assess how much she is not having conscious. Like I wanted to check, is this for verbal command, is this for pain stimulus? So yeah, so I wanted to do verbal command first, then maybe tapping over the shoulder, maybe she will respond.
Right.
Yeah, going like this way.
Yeah, that is a possibility. You can probably do ABPU at the very beginning and then initiate the ABCD approach, or you can simply speak, and if there is no response, I would say it's best to actually initiate of ABCD rather than trying to elicit a history. Even if she were awake, I would still go with ABCD rather than taking a history at first. I would probably take history at a later point after I have stabilized her vitals.
When I moved into the cubicle and I knew that this patient could have hypoglycemia, as I knew that she is diabetic and haven't eaten anything since morning and insulin has been given. So do we check the blood sugar first?
Even though you may have an idea, because this is a scenario we are only trying to simulate, you may get an idea, but we generally do glucose in disability. That is probably the best time, because see, hypoglycemia won't kill her off, but her saturations were low and hypoxia may cause bigger issues. Okay. That is why this is the point I'm trying to make, is that if you start off with airway, you will first deal with hypoxia, which is much more serious than hypoglycemia. And by the time you come to disability, since you would have stabilized the more important things, you can then check on her blood sugars and manage the hypoglycemia at the level of disability.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense? Okay, that's great. Right? Do we have a next participant?
Yeah, hello, Dr. Kalpita. It's Dr. Sadaf.
Hi, Dr. Sadaf. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You know the drill. We'll give you your minute to look at your station.
Yes.
Are you ready, doctor? We can start your station.
Yes, please.
Whenever you hear the bell, and see the slide.
Begin.
Hello.
Hello, doctor.
Hello, is that Chloe?
Yes, doctor. I'm Chloe, doctor.
Chloe. Hello, Chloe. I'm Sadaf, one of the doctors working here. And may I confirm your age, please?
I'm 45 years old, doctor.
Thank you. So, how may I help you today?
I've been having this severe pain, doctor, in my left leg.
I see. I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you tell me more about this pain so and I can help you in the best possible way?
I don't know. It was actually there since morning. I was sleeping, and then ever since I woke up, I've been finding that it's been extremely painful, and I don't know. It's just all over my left leg. I was not even doing anything.
All right, right. And it started suddenly.
Yes, doctor.
And is it always there or it comes and goes?
It's been there throughout, doctor.
Sure, right. And is there anything that making this pain worse?
No, doctor. I mean, it's just the same throughout now.
Right, or anything that helped you with the pain, like any medicine that you have used?
I tried taking a paracetamol, but that didn't help.
Right. And is in your left leg, so is the right leg okay?
Yes, it's fine. It's absolutely okay.
It's fine. And can you please show me exactly where exactly is the pain? If you can show me.
Points towards the left calf.
Left calf. Right. Okay. By any chance going anywhere else in your body?
No, doctor. Just there.
Right. And can you score the pain for me, when 1 being the lowest and 10 being the worst?
I would probably give it a 7, doctor.
It is quite painful. Please bear with me. I will give you something strong to help with this pain. Anything else apart from this leg pain?
No, doctor. No such problem as such.
Right. And has this happened before?
No, this hasn't.
By any chance you had any painful walking, like when you walk you feel pain at all?
No, doctor.
And otherwise you are generally fit and well?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Sorry, are you generally fit and well?
Yes, I am.
Right. Any medical condition you are diagnosed with?
No, doctor. No medical condition.
Right. By any chance you're using any medication?
No, doctor. I'm not using any medication.
Right. Any by any chance you have noticed like this, your leg is swollen and red as well?
No, this is the first time this has happened.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm asking, is it red and swollen as well, your leg?
No, it doesn't look red. It actually looks more blue, but it does seem slightly swollen.
Slightly swollen, it is pale. Okay. Sorry, blue you said. Okay. And any numbness in your leg at all?
Not really, doctor.
Any tingling sensation?
No.
And are you able to walk at all with this pain?
No, not really. I almost limped here with the help of my friend.
Right. And so by any chance you had any allergies at all?
No, doctor. No allergies.
Or you have hurt yourself?
No, doctor. I have not.
Right. Okay. A few questions. And any history of any medical condition running in the family at all?
My mother had some issue with clots, they said. They said she had blood clots in her legs. I'm not sure what they call it.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. A few questions regarding your lifestyle. Do you smoke?
Yes, doctor. I've been smoking for about 15 years now.
Since 15 years. And may I know how much is that?
I have at least 6-7 sticks a day.
Right. And by any chance you have thought of cutting and cough?
I did try once, but I just couldn't keep at it.
Right. Okay, we will talk about it. And how's your diet, if I ask you?
That's fine. I eat healthy.
And are you physically active?
Yes, doctor, I am.
Right. Okay. So thank you for answering all my questions and bear with me. I would like to examine you now. I will start your head-to-toe examination. Your vitals are with me. Your heart rate is your all the vitals are within the normal range. So I will quickly examine your mouth. So you are speaking, which means I have straight in. I will do the examine the neck now. I need to examine your chest as well. And for that purpose, I will need to expose you. Chaperone with me during this time, and I will ensure your privacy. Right. Okay. So I will inspect the chest, and I will then percussate and palpate it, and I will then auscultate in 6 different areas, and then I will Then I will examine the heart. I will locate the apex speed. I will also see if there is any added sound. Then I will move to C. In C, I will start from capillary refill, and I will check the pulse.
Left leg, no dorsalis pedis felt.
No dorsalis pedicels. Okay. And also, okay, I will also examine all the pulses. So there's only dorsalis pedicels missing of left leg.
Yes.
Left leg. Okay. Also, I will do the tummy examination. I
2
will check
minutes
the
remain.
sugar level and temperature as well.
Everything normal.
Everything normal. So now you have to speak to the examiner. Okay. So thank you, John. Sorry. Thank you, Curly, for bearing with me. I would like to give you some strong enough painkiller. I will, call my senior. Most likely, we will be giving you some morphine because it's quite a strong. Your pain is quite severe. Also, we will give some antiemetic with it, and I will ask the cardiologist to come and assess you. One of the pulses in your leg is missing, and you are having this severe pain for 2 minutes. There's some pallor as well. So I'm suspecting that it could be some arterial changes, maybe limb ischemia going on.
Doctor, I didn't understand what you're speaking of.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So I will first give you some painkiller to relieve your pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
and
what is the problem, doctor? What do I have?
Yeah, so what you have told me, and after my assessment, looks like there's some blockage in the blood supply of your leg.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why that may have happened?
Yeah, so since you mentioned that you have been smoking, so that is one of the possibilities, but we need to do further investigations to see what's actually going on.
Okay, doctor.
Yeah, so we will do an ultrasound of your leg as well.
Okay.
Yeah, my senior will come and assess you.
All right, doctor.
Right, and we might have to do some procedures, some invasive procedures as well to see, if okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
doctor.
And if the pain get worse or you feel any thing it is getting worse, you can ring the bell.
Okay, doctor. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Move on to the next station.
So, Dr. Sadaf, how do you think you're doing?
I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
No, it was well done. Yes, the vitals here were normal, so you could start talking to the patient and you could start taking the history. So all that is done. So what is your diagnosis, please?
This looks like an limb ischemia.
So it's best to always involve your patient in the management plan, maybe by explaining to her what is happening and then take her through it. Right. Yeah. So, yes, you will escalate it to your seniors. You will, of course, put in a referral to the vascular surgeons, and you might have to take them for further treatment. Her vitals were fine. So, instead of saying everything, because this is probably a longer station where you're taking a history, what I would recommend is you can say, the vitals seem normal. I'll just do a quick A2E assessment to make sure my patient is all right. It's just a small safety blanket statement. But beyond that, it's not really needed, A2E assessment here, because your vitals here are actually quite normal, right?
Yeah.
So you do not need to mention. So if the vitals are unstable, then I would probably initiate the full-fledged ABCD approach. And if the vitals are normal, then maybe not. Otherwise, well done. You missed out on a few questions. I was just going to touch upon that.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's a female. Wouldn't you think it's important to ask her also about, the pills she might be taking? What if she's on OC pills? That was one of the key points I was keeping in mind to mention whenever you would ask me.
Yeah, but okay. So I was thinking, if I'm asking, so we have to ask it like pills, like an open and a closed question, not just like any medicine you are taking.
You can. Specifically, you can ask for OC pills history. Sometimes, generally with females, I would say the 4 Ps, that is pregnancy, pap smear, pills, periods are very important. Pills in this case would have been very important. If she's not forthcoming, you could have given her that. So a closed-ended question at times can actually help, especially when you feel that it is going to be quite pertinent to your case. Also, this was of course not in my mind. Another thing you could have asked about is travel history. What if the simulator tells you, I just flew back from Australia last night? So that would be a very long flight. So again, that would also lead to a clot, right? Because immobilized for quite some time. So probably when you have an idea in your mind, you can ask a few close-ended questions to get to the diagnosis.
Okay. Yeah, I understand now. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have a next participant here?
Hi, hello. Yeah, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes. Right. So moving on to the next one. Dr. Siddiqui, you're there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So I'll give you your minute to prepare. Whenever you hear the bell.
Begin.
I am Manisa MS Siddiqui and my candidate number is so and so. Hello, Mr. Martin.
Hello, doctor. Not
Hello,
feeling
Mr.
well.
Martin.
Doctor, I'm
Mr.
not
Martin,
feeling
I'm
well.
Dr. That's all right, Mr. Martin. I'm here to take care of you. I've been asked to check upon you, and so since how long you've been feeling not well?
I've not been well for 4 days. I've been admitted here, but since the last 15-20 minutes, I just feel really, I don't know what's happening, doctor. I'm just not feeling well at all.
That's all right. We're here to help you. Can you please tell me, do you have smoker's cough?
No, doctor, I don't.
Right. Mr. Martin, your oxygen levels in your body are really low, so I need you to attach to an oxygen mask right away. So taking the
Okay.
bag from the side of the patient and attaching. It will be on high flow oxygen. Could you please take a deep breath in
All
for
right,
me,
doctor.
please? Thank you. Okay, could you do that again?
Yes, doctor.
Very good. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so moving on, I could see that your airway is patent, which is really good. Mr. Martin, I need to check your breathing and I need to examine your chest. I will be having a chaperone because I need to expose your chest. Will that be okay with you?
Yes, doctor.
Thank you so
Everything's
much,
fine.
Mr. Martin. Okay, so I am now looking at the trachea. I will be feeling your windpipe. Is it central?
Central, yes.
And I will be exposing your chest. I will be checking the chest expansion by keeping my hands, and I will be now tapping on your chest from 6 sides, and I will now auscultate your chest on 6 sides as well.
Everything is normal.
Thank you. At this point, I would like to go and check my Mr. Martin. Your blood pressures are a bit low. It's 100/60. So, do you by any chance have any heart problems?
No, doctor, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so I will be so I can see that Mr. Martins have a cannula attached, but I would like to insert another large IV bore cannula, and I would like to initiate the fluid. Mr. Martin, I am going to attach some fluid through your IV channels, and this might make you feel a little better. Okay? You're
Okay, doctor.
hang in there with me.
All
So
right,
these are going to run about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's 500 ml bolus. I can see I'm going to now feeling your pulse and taking your temperature at the same time. And temperature, okay, so Mr. Martin, you've been feeling high temperature since how long?
Probably since morning, doctor.
Right. Try not to worry. I'm going to give you medication for that through your blood channels. And meanwhile, I'm doing that from another cannula. I will take the bloods, the full blood count, your liver function test, your kidney function test, some infection markers called ESR, CRP. I would also like to take some special bloods, which are called lactate, and also would like to take your blood culture at this point. You
Okay,
with me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Right. At this point, I can see your heart rate is a bit on a higher side. However, your pulse feels regular. I would like to order an ECG, which is a tracing of your heart. Okay, Martin, Mr. Martin?
ECG is
I would
normal.
like to reassess you. So the respiratory rate is still at the higher side, and I'm a bit concerned about that. I would like to order a chest X-ray and an ABGs at this point. Moving
All
on,
right.
Mr. Martin, I would like, thank you. I'm going to put the apron back, and I'm going to expose your tummy. I will be feeling and looking for the tummy, and I'm going to expose the lower, the private part as well. And can I see something there?
No,
So
you cannot.
I'm exposing the private part. Okay, so there's nothing there. Right. I'm also going to do an examination. I will be looking in your. I will be showing a light in your pupil.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, and I will be doing a capillary blood glucose test.
Blood glucose
Okay.
normal.
Okay, and I will be now examining your legs. Okay,
Legs, everything
Um,
normal.
right. So, Mr. Martin, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling better, doctor. I'm feeling slightly better, yes.
Well, that's really good. So, could you tell me what exactly happened?
I don't know, doctor. I mean, I've been here admitted because they told me I have some infection, some urinary infection, they told me. And since morning, I have not been able to pass urine. So, and then I started having fever, and then I was just not feeling well at all.
Right. When was the last time you passed urine?
2 minutes remaining.
Last night.
I will catheterize. Okay, so thank you so much, Martin. So my patient, Mr. Martin, is a 72-year-old male. He has he's a known case of BPH. He presented with the symptoms of urinary tract infection last 4 days ago, and he was admitted for that. I was being called because the patient vitals were deteriorated, and on examination, I felt his blood pressure was low. His saturation was low, for which I attached him to the high flow oxygen. We also we also attached him to fluids, and because his blood pressure was also low, and he was also running fever, so I gave him some paracetamol. We have also taken some. I suspect that our patient is also having a urinary retention. For that, I would like to catheterize my patient and would like to send some urine sample for analysis, culture, and sensitivity. So I think that our patient is running into sepsis because of UTI and urinary retention. So I would like to inform my seniors and get their input as well.
All right. In sepsis, what is the sepsis bundle, please?
So in sepsis, we give IV fluids, oxygen, and antibiotics according to the local protocol of the hospital, and we take blood cultures, urine cultures, and lactate of our patient. I'm going to admit our patient in IT, and I will also inform
Move on
the
to the next
anesthetic
station.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the last part, please.
I said that we will involve an anesthetist in case if the patient deteriorates.
Okay, great.
And book an ITU.
Okay, right. So, Dr. Siddiqui, how do you think you did?
Oh, there was a voice lag. I don't know.
But I still think you did a wonderful job. Well done. You caught on quick that the vitals were off and you initiated the ABCD approach. Your handover, that is the part where you speak to the examiner, was also very well done. And I think you managed the patient quite well. So I really don't have much to add on here. So well done, Dr. Siddiqui. I think this is exactly what I was hoping to get out of the session today. So thank you for that. Right. Do we have a next participant, please?
Yes, Dr. Kalpita. Yes.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Amaya.
Okay, Dr. Amaya. Hi, Dr. Amaya. How are you? Good to see you here.
How are you, doctor?
I'm good. Thank you. All right. So you know how this goes. We'll give you your minute to prepare. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready, doctor? Can we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you hear the bell, please.
Begin.
Hello, I'm Dr. Amaya, one of the F2. Rose, can you tell me what brings you here?
Hello, doctor. I don't know, doctor. I'm finding it very difficult to breathe. My asthma is just acting up too much now.
Okay, Rose, let me see how we can help you. Give me a second while I look at your vital parameters.
All
I
right,
can see
doctor.
that your oxygen is a little low. Do you have smoker's cough?
I don't really smoke, doctor. I'm not sure of that.
Okay, I will give you high flow oxygen via non-rebreathable mask.
Okay, doctor.
Are you feeling a little better, Rose?
Yes, doctor. Slightly better. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Rose. I would also like to. I assume that because the patient is speaking, I assume that her airway is patent, and I would like to expose you, and I would like to examine you. Is that okay?
All right, doctor.
I'll have a chaperone to ensure your privacy.
Okay, doctor.
I'd like to examine the patient's trachea and see for the movement of the chest and symmetry of her breathing. And I'd like to percuss and also auscultate her chest areas.
Okay, everything normal. She has
Okay,
slight
Rose.
wheeze too. Sorry, I'm sorry. She has slight wheeze.
Rose, it seems that you have a little wheeze, so I would also like to give you nebulization salbutamol, which will help you with your wheeze.
All right,
How do you feel, Rose?
better. Wheeze has decreased.
Okay, Rose, can you tell me what happened?
Doctor, I don't know what happened. I was actually just sitting at home and suddenly I felt like this shortness of breath coming on. So I decided to take a walk and it just worsened.
Okay, Rose, so you told me that you have asthma. Do you take your medicines regularly?
Yes, doctor, I take both my inhalers, the blue and the brown one.
Okay, did you have a fever recently?
No, doctor, no such thing.
Any recent infections? Any flu?
No, doctor.
Okay, do you feel any chest pain?
No, doctor, I don't feel any pain.
Okay, any leg pain?
No, doctor.
Do you feel sick, Rose?
Well, right now, yes. I mean, because of the breathing issues.
Okay, do you feel like you want to vomit?
No, doctor.
Okay, Rose. So have you been diagnosed with any other medical condition other than asthma?
No, doctor. It's just been asthma since the time I was 16.
Okay, Rose. And have you been on medication regularly since then?
Yes, I have been on medications. I've had to take my inhalation more nowadays. I have realized, like, I keep getting the wheeze quite frequently. I feel like my throat is closing up at times.
Okay, Rose, that must be difficult for you. Can you tell me what inhalers do you take?
I take the blue and brown one, doctor. I'm not really sure what they are.
Okay, Rose, that is fine. Can you tell me how often do you take it now?
The blue one, initially I used to take once in a few days. Now I take them at least once a day.
Okay, and the brown one?
Brown one, I have to take that every night.
Okay. And do you have wheezing at night too?
Since the last couple of weeks, yes.
Okay, Rose. Do you have pets or carpets at home?
No, doctor.
Okay, Rose. Are you on any other medication?
No, doctor.
Okay, are you allergic to any drugs or any food?
No, doctor.
Okay, does anyone in your family suffer from similar condition?
Yes, my father also had asthma.
Okay, Rose. And is he fine now?
Yes, I mean, it's well managed, I would say.
Okay, that is good. And what do you do for a living, Rose?
I'm a student at the university. I'm an art student.
Okay, so do you get exposed to drugs? To dust?
Not really.
Have you noticed anything there that aggravates your wheezing?
Generally, around pollen, I have noticed that, especially when I walk out in the parks.
Okay, Rose. That is fine. Now, Rose, I would like to send a few investigations. I would like to send your complete blood count, send your inflammatory markers, ESR and CRP, and
Okay.
I would also like to send your X-ray, and ideally, I would also like to do her PFR.
All right, doctor. PFR is more than 50%.
Okay. Thank you, examiner. Now, Rose, we think you have had something we call an acute exacerbation of asthma, as you already know that
2
you
minutes
have.
remaining.
Okay,
Okay,
doctor.
examiner. Examiner. My patient Rose is a 22-year-old who has been diagnosed with bronchial asthma since the age of 16, and she came with an acute exacerbation. And she gives a history of increased usage of her blue inhaler recently. So I would like to review the patient's medications while at the same time sending for her investigations and seeing if there's any cause for her exacerbation.
Okay.
I'd like to also involve my seniors so they
All
can
right.
take medication and increase or decrease the doses, and if needed add LTRA to her medication.
Okay.
And I would also advise. Hello?
Hello. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I would also advise her to keep away from pollen and to maintain a diary,
All right.
an asthma diary. And I would also advise her to take her medication regularly and correctly, and also check for her inhaler techniques. And
Okay.
also advise her to keep her appointment regularly and follow up with her GP.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Anything else you would like to add? Would you also be telling her to use the PEFR at home?
Yes. I would also advise her to tell her how to use the PEFR and also to note that down in her diary.
Okay. Thank you.
Move on to the next station.
So, Dr. Amaya, how do you think you did?
I was very nervous.
That's all right. That's fine.
I think I should have asked her lifestyle questions if she smokes. She already said that she doesn't smoke.
Yeah, she did. I think you touched upon everything. It was quite well done. I was just a bit confused. Did you try to start off the ABCD and not finish the whole thing and went back to history? Is it?
Yeah, I was because her vitals were stable. I started off with the examination and then I didn't complete it because I thought I'd have to complete history first because
Right.
it's got better and so. Yeah.
Right. So since she's an asthmatic, the saturations can be around 94, so that is fine. So
Okay.
instead of actually doing the ABCD, you could have just simply started asking her the history and continued thereon.
Okay.
Of course, you could ask if she's comfortable speaking to you because she does complain of breathlessness. Based on that, you could have probably asked her if she would want something. Other than that, I think you could have simply gone on with the history in this kind of a situation.
Okay.
Because
So I didn't have to. Okay.
Yeah, because she is speaking and her vitals are pretty much normal. Only that little thing I kept one, just, because in asthmatics, you will tend to find saturation slightly on the lower side anyway. Of course, it shouldn't be somewhere around 92 and all. That would be a problem. So that wouldn't be a factor for you to initiate ABCDE approach. But otherwise, this could just simply be another history taking session.
Yeah, I was unsure of the 94%. I didn't know if I should give her oxygen or if I should just continue with the history taking. So I kind of jumbled up both.
That's all right. You could simply ask her if she's comfortable speaking to you. That would give you a good idea. If she's not, if she's gasping, then of course you have to start off oxygen and then everything else.
Yeah. She didn't show any signs of severe asthma, so I proceeded with the history.
It was more of a mild to moderate kind of exacerbation. Do you have anything to add? Because I think you mostly touched upon everything. We would, if this was an acute presentation where where her vitals were not stable, you would give her oxygen. You would run salbutamol through her nebulizations. You also, of course, would give her hydrocortisone and ipratropium. If the condition would not to improve, you would need to speak to your seniors and then give further management that I have put up on the slides.
Okay. Yes, doctor.
All right? Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Kalpita.
Thank you so much.